What if I told you that the real secret to wealth isn't how hard you work, but what your money does when you're not working at all? Imagine waking up in the morning, checking your phone and seeing that you've earned money while you were asleep. No extra hours, no burnout, just growth. Most people trade time for money. They hustle harder, work longer, and hope someday it will pay off. But according to Napoleon Hill, the truly wealthy think differently. They don't just earn money, they make money work for them. Here's the truth. If your money isn't multiplying, it's slowly dying. Inflation eats it, expenses drain it. And time slips away. But there's a way to break this cycle, a way to build streams of income that grow quietly, consistently, even while you rest. In this video, you'll discover the mindset and principles that can transform your financial future. These aren't shortcuts or gimmicks, they are timeless lessons inspired by Napoleon Hill himself. Stay with me until the end, because one of these lessons could completely change how you think about money and how you build your wealth forever. Lesson 1. Develop a wealth-building mindset. The architecture of abundance is drafted first in the corridors of the mind before a single brick of physical wealth is ever laid. To understand Napoleon Hill's assertion that wealth begins with a burning desire, one must recognize that this is not a fleeting wish or a casual preference for comfort. It is an all-consuming psychological orientation that recalibrates how an individual perceives every obstacle, opportunity, and resource. Most people view money through the narrow lens of labor exchange. They see it as the reward for hours spent at a desk or on a factory floor. This earned income mindset is inherently limited because it is tethered to the finite nature of human time. To transition into a wealth-building mindset, you must divorce the concept of value from the concept of hours. You begin to see money as a tool for leverage, a seed meant for planting rather than a harvest meant for immediate consumption. This shift requires a profound internal transformation where you stop asking, "What can I buy?" and start asking, "What can I build?" Developing this mindset necessitates a radical level of intentionality that rejects the notion of luck or accidental success. While the world often views the wealthy as beneficiaries of circumstance, the psychological reality is that wealth is the result of a specific, repeatable cognitive framework. This framework involves the cultivation of specialized knowledge and the unwavering belief in one's capacity to create value. It is the difference between a scarcity mindset which fears that there is a limited pie and everyone is a competitor, and an abundance mindset which understands that value can be created out of thin air through innovation and problem solving. When you view the world as an infinite landscape of problems waiting for solutions, you no longer see money as something to be chased. Instead, you see it as a byproduct of the value you provide. This intentionality acts as a filter, allowing you to ignore distractions and focus your mental energy on the high-leverage activities that move the needle of your net worth. Furthermore, a wealth-building mindset demands a high degree of emotional intelligence and self-regulation. It is easy to remain disciplined when the market is up and opportunities are plentiful, but the true test of this mindset occurs during periods of stagnation or loss. The average person reacts to financial setbacks with fear and retreat, often liquidating assets at the worst possible time. The wealth-oriented mind, however, views these moments as market corrections or buying opportunities. This perspective is rooted in a long-term vision that extends decades into the future. By anchoring your identity to your vision rather than your current bank balance, you insulate yourself from the volatility of the present. You begin to understand that wealth is a game of psychology first and math second. If you can control your impulses, master your fears, and maintain a clear vision of your ultimate destination, the accumulation of capital becomes an inevitable consequence of your internal state. Lesson 2. Make your money work for you. The fundamental distinction between the middle class and the wealthy lies in who is doing the labor, the person or the capital. In a traditional economic model, an individual trades their physical or mental energy for a paycheck, a process that is fundamentally non-scalable. There are only 24 hours in a day, and even the most skilled professional hits a ceiling on what their time is worth. The rich, however, understand the concept of capital efficiency. They treat every dollar as a financial soldier, sent out to the front lines of the global economy to capture more dollars and bring them home. This is the essence of making money work for you. It involves the transition from being a consumer to being an owner. Whether it is owning a piece of a corporation through stocks, owning debt through bonds, or owning physical property, the goal is to position your capital in environments where it can compound independently of your physical presence. Creating systems is the mechanism through which this financial liberation is achieved. A system is a structured process that generates output with minimal manual input. For the sophisticated investor, this might mean a diversified portfolio of index funds that captures the total growth of the economy, or it might mean a business that operates through a management layer, requiring only occasional oversight. The beauty of these systems is their objectivity. They do not get tired, they do not require motivation, and they operate 24/7. When you spend your income on liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket, you are effectively sentencing yourself to a lifetime of labor to maintain those liabilities. When you allocate that same income into assets, things that put money into your pocket, you are purchasing your future freedom. Each asset you acquire is a brick in a wall that eventually protects you from the necessity of working for survival. To truly master this lesson, one must embrace the mathematical power of compound interest, which Albert Einstein famously dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. Compound interest is the process where the returns on your investment begin to earn their own returns, creating an exponential growth curve. In the early stages, the progress feels agonizingly slow, often leading the impatient to abandon their strategy. However, once a critical mass of capital is reached, the growth becomes explosive. At this stage, the money working for you earns more in a single year than you could earn in a decade of manual labor. This is the tipping point of financial independence. Reaching this point requires a disciplined refusal to lifestyle creep, the tendency to increase spending as income rises. Instead, the wealthy reinvest their gains, allowing the snowball of compounding to grow larger and faster, eventually becoming an unstoppable force of wealth generation. Lesson 3. Build multiple streams of income. The modern economic landscape is fraught with volatility, making the one-job model a dangerous gamble. Relying on a single stream of income is akin to standing on a one-legged stool. If that leg is kicked out by a recession, a corporate restructuring, or a health crisis, the entire structure collapses. Building multiple streams of income is not just a strategy for wealth, it is a strategy for survival and security. These streams function as a diversified ecosystem, where the failure of one branch does not threaten the life of the tree. Diversification across different income types, such as earned, passive, and portfolio income, creates a robust financial foundation. This approach allows an individual to pivot during economic shifts, leveraging different assets as the market environment changes. It transforms a fragile financial life into an anti-fragile one where you actually benefit from certain types of chaos because you have the resources to adapt. Each income stream should be viewed as an independent worker in your personal corporation. Some streams, like a primary career, provide high-velocity cash flow but require high-time input. Others, like rental income or dividend-paying stocks, provide lower velocity but require almost no time once established. Then there are scalable streams such as digital products or royalties, where the initial work is done once but the product can be sold an infinite number of times. The synergy between these streams is where true wealth acceleration happens. For example, the high-velocity income from a career can be used to fund the acquisition of passive assets, which then generate the cash flow to start a side business. This creates a feedback loop of capital where money is constantly being recycled into new productive ventures. The objective is to reach a state where your non-active income exceeds your active expenses, providing you with total autonomy over your time. Developing these streams requires a mix of curiosity and technical proficiency. In the digital age, the barriers to entry for creating new income sources have never been lower. An individual can launch an e-commerce store, publish a book, or invest in a global REIT real estate investment trust from their living room. However, the pitfall many encounter is shiny object syndrome, where they attempt to build 10 streams at once and fail at all of them. The most successful wealth builders focus on mastering one stream until it is automated or stabilized before moving to the next. This sequential scaling ensures that each stream is built on a solid foundation. As these streams stack upon one another, they create a moat of financial protection. Eventually, the goal is not just to have more money, but to have more sources of money, ensuring that your lifestyle is never dependent on the whims of a single employer or the health of a single industry. Lesson 4. Use the power of persistence and patience. In a culture addicted to overnight success and instant gratification, the virtues of persistence and patience have become the ultimate competitive advantages. Wealth multiplication is a marathon disguised as a sprint. The J-curve of growth dictates that most of the results occur at the very end of the timeline, yet most people abandon their efforts during the valley of disappointment, that initial period where effort is high but visible results are low. Persistence is the stubborn refusal to let the lack of immediate feedback dictate your long-term actions. It is the grit required to continue investing when the market is down and the discipline to keep building a business when no one is watching. This isn't blind stubbornness, it is a calculated commitment to a proven process. Those who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or the luckiest, but the ones who remained in the game long enough for the laws of probability and compounding to work in their favor. Patience in the context of wealth building is not a passive state of waiting, it is a strategic form of endurance. It involves the delayed gratification necessary to prioritize future security over present luxury. To be patient is to understand the nature of cycles. Markets fluctuate, businesses face seasonal ebbs, and personal progress often plateaus. A patient investor understands that these fluctuations are temporary noise in a long-term signal of growth. By remaining calm during periods of turbulence, you avoid the impulsive decisions that derail most financial plans. This strategic patience allows you to hold your assets while others are panicking, and to wait for the right opportunities rather than forcing bad ones out of desperation. It is the quiet strength that prevents you from eating your seed corn before it has had the chance to produce a harvest. The synergy of persistence and patience creates a psychological armor against the noise of the world. Every day we are bombarded with news of the latest get-rich-quick scheme or the latest economic doomsday prophecy. Persistence keeps you focused on your specific plan, while patience allows you to ignore the lure of the shortcut. When you commit to a 10-year or 20-year horizon, the daily movements of the stock market or the monthly fluctuations in your side hustle revenue become irrelevant. You start to measure progress in years and decades rather than days and weeks. This long-form thinking is what separates the titan from the amateur. The amateur wants it now and loses it tomorrow. The titan is willing to wait, and as a result they build something that lasts for generations. Ultimately, time is the greatest multiplier of wealth, but it only works for those who have the fortitude to stay the course. Lesson 5. Master financial discipline. Financial discipline is the governor on the engine of your wealth. Without it, even the highest income will eventually evaporate. There is a common misconception that earning more money solves financial problems, but for the undisciplined, a higher income only leads to bigger problems and more expensive debts. Discipline is the bridge that connects your current earnings to your future net worth. It begins with the granular task of tracking every dollar that enters and exits your life. This awareness is the foundation of control. When you track your spending, you strip away the illusions of where your money goes and confront the reality of your habits. Mastery over your finances means you are the master of your impulses. You choose where your money goes based on your values and goals, rather than letting your emotions or social pressures dictate your spending. Controlling expenses is often viewed as a life of deprivation, but in the context of wealth building, it is actually an act of empowerment. It is about optimizing your burn rate so that you maximize the amount of capital available for reinvestment. The wealthy do not necessarily live cheaply, but they live intentionally. They distinguish between high-value expenditures that improve their quality of life or productivity, and wasteful expenditures that offer only fleeting dopamine hits. This discipline extends to the management of debt. While the average person uses debt to buy depreciating assets like cars or clothes, the disciplined wealth builder uses good debt only to acquire appreciating assets and avoids high-interest consumer debt like a plague. By keeping your overhead low and your savings rate high, you create a surplus, a war chest that allows you to capitalize on opportunities that others are too cash-strapped to seize. The final component of financial discipline is the habitual reinvestment of profits. When an investment pays off or a business shows a surplus, the temptation is to reward oneself by spending that money. The disciplined individual, however, understands that this surplus is the very fuel needed for the next level of growth. By reinvesting your profits back into your assets, you trigger the flywheel effect, where each success feeds the next, creating a self-sustaining cycle of wealth. This habit is what separates the high-income individual from the wealthy individual. A high-income person might have a large house and a luxury car, but if they stop working, their lifestyle disappears. A wealthy person has disciplined their spending and reinvested their profits to the point where their assets provide for their lifestyle. This level of mastery requires a constant vigilance against lifestyle inflation and a lifelong commitment to the principles of stewardship. At the end of the day, making your money multiply while you sleep is not a fantasy, it's a decision to think differently, a decision to act strategically, and most importantly, a decision to stop trading your entire life for a paycheck. Napoleon Hill taught that riches begin with a state of mind, but they are built through consistent action. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to start big. You just need to start. One investment, one new idea, one step toward building something that works for you. Imagine your future if you apply these principles. Months from now, years from now, your money could be growing quietly in the background, creating freedom, options, and peace of mind. But remember this, time will pass anyway. The question is, will your money grow with it, or will it stay stuck where it is today? The choice is yours. Start building today, so one day you won't have to work for money, because your money will be working for you.